Welcome to 6 Degrees of Health and Wellness. My name is Karen Langston, your host, and today I have a very special guest with me. I have Jean Marie Givens Myers.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here today. And just to get started, let's find a little bit about who you are.
Who am I? Well, I'm a woman who loves to laugh.
Oh, yay.
And it's been very good today to be able to do that.
Yes.
And I think that laughter is one of the greatest gifts that we've been given to be able to get through everything that comes along in life.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
And
yes.
I am also a mother. I have 2 children. I have 2 stepchildren, and between the 4 of them, I have 11 grandchildren.
11 grandchildren.
Yes.
Wow, you're a busy woman.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'd love to know a little bit about your story. I really want our viewers to be able to engage and connect with you. So I'd love to know what got you into the health and wellness industry.
Well, you know, I grew up with in a family. My mother has polio, and so she was always very proactive in her treatments and always very, very aware and willing to take responsibility for her own care.
Sure.
Anytime the doctors would recommend something for her, she always researched it and, looked into things before she would just jump in and say, okay.
Good for her.
And then I have a brother who, when I was 6 and he was 16, was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. And he was told he would be lucky to see 30, and he has just turned 60.
Hooray. Glad to hear that.
Yes, it's wonderful. But again, because he was willing to take responsibility for his own care and did not just randomly and methodically do whatever he was told. He researched and he found what was good for him and what worked for him. And so he's been very active in his own self-care. And so I've watched this my whole life and been very aware that it's very important to take the responsibility for your own healing.
So they took a proactive approach, and we're going back, how many years? I mean, back then we only listened to the medical profession, right? So that's just
back then.
Yes, back then, way back then. So it's amazing that, it's not that they were going against the medical profession. It was just that they wanted to see what other options were out there.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. So from there, what brought you to where you are now?
I had a friend who kept saying to me, Jeannie, you should come to see this. It's called Giza Healing Sanctuary. And she said, you lay on a massage table and they put their hands on you and you'll feel better. And I'm going, oh, yeah.
Woo-woo stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was just a little more than I was willing to hear at that point in time.
Sure.
But she continued to talk to me about it. And one day she said, it's 3 hours of quiet. And I thought, 3 hours of quiet? I am there.
Exactly. I think I'm going too.
Yeah, really. Well, unfortunately, it's in Virginia, but we won't go there. Whenever I went there, they had a flyer on the table about learning to use your hands to heal. And I thought that was kind of interesting because a few years prior to that, we had Mark Victor Hansen had come and spoke at an insurance convention, and I was in the insurance industry at that point in time, and he wanted to shake everybody's hand before they left. Whenever I shook his hand, he said, wow, you have really healing hands. And I thought, okay, that's kind of strange.
More woo-woo stuff,
Absolutely.
right?
And I was very avoiding woo-woo stuff. So when I saw the flyer, I started thinking maybe I should pursue this and that this has something to do with that. There might be this connection that I'm just not seeing. A friend of mine was going to meet me for lunch, and I was coming to the deadline of being able to sign up for this class. And I thought, okay, God, we're going to have to figure this out whether I should take this class or not. So how about if she is at lunch, then I will take the class. Okay. And then I started laughing because this is a woman who will be late to her own funeral. I mean, she never shows up on time. So, okay, that's not going to work. Let me pick something different. I said, I know. How about if she buys my lunch? That would be great.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So then I started laughing again because obviously I was being very selfish. And it's like, okay, I need to just let this go and I need to, figure out the answer myself.
Okay.
So I get to the restaurant and I walk inside and there she's sitting at a table and we sit down and visit and all of a sudden I looked at my watch and realized I had to get back to the office. And I'm like, oh no, I got to leave. I need the check right away. And she said, don't worry about it. I'll pay for lunch. And I said, oh, okay, great, thanks. Ran out the door. I was halfway back to work before I thought, here, both things were answered.
She was there.
And
she paid for lunch.
Exactly. Shortly after I took the first class, my husband had quadruple bypass surgery.
Oh, my goodness.
And so he became my guinea pig, and I started working on him. And he would be very encouraging about it, that he could feel warmth coming off my hands.
So from that led you to your business, which is Healing Pathways.
Correct.
So if I was to knock on your door and wanted to partake in some of your services, what can I expect?
Well, I actually have two things, because I am a teacher and I teach classes, which is very
good.
important. I think it's critical for us to learn how to use the techniques, because everybody can learn how to bring healing into their lives, themselves. But if you come to see me as a client, you stay clothed, and that's important to some people. And you'll lay on a massage table, and I gently place my hands on your body, or sometimes I work in the field over the body.
Okay.
And it brings physical, emotional, mental, and or spiritual healing.
Sure.
Most of the thing that has been wonderful for me, and where I feel myself being led more and more, is helping people to heal the emotional hurts.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's been one of my biggest journeys, and I've gone through a lot of healing myself, and empowering people to become their authentic selves.
Okay, so you're empowering people to own their authentic self.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
incredible. That's incredible.
And especially women. Men do the same thing, but I think women are a little more aware of how much we deny who we are in order to fit a certain role or a certain image that we think we're supposed to be.
And society has put that on us.
Exactly.
Right. So it's very hard to break outside of that mold.
Right.
So that's just absolutely incredible. So I think I need to come and see you. I just want to see, the whole hands get nice and warm. And stuff like that. Well, on that note, so, I know, I'm thinking, do you have to be in the Phoenix area?
You don't have to be. I do distance healing.
Wow.
It's very different than hands-on healing. I'm a touchy-feely person, so I really like having the person close. But especially having moved here from Virginia, I still see my clients long distance.
Okay. Well, I have viewers in Canada. Hello. Would somebody in Canada be able to work with you?
Absolutely.
And how could they work with you? Would it be through the phone? How would they work?
What I have done so far is over the phone.
Okay.
But I have just signed up with Skype, and I'm kind of experimenting with that a little bit.
Oh,
So not sure how that works, but that's a possibility too. But we keep the phone on the phone for an hour, and as I work on you, I may talk to you through some of it and be quiet through some of it. But I need to have that dialogue open over the phone.
I love technology.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with technology, actually, but I love the part that we can, find such a wonderful healer as yourself, and now we can open you up to any country. That's just phenomenal. Well, I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had the power to change one thing in this world, what would it be?
I would like for everybody to be able to transport themselves wherever they wanted to be.
Transport?
Yes, just like in
beam me
Star
up,
Trek.
Scotty?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness!
My dream would be to be able to go to a track meet in Virginia. How about a track meet in Texas? Have lunch with my friends in Virginia. Go to a concert in Idaho, and then sleep in my own bed at night.
In one day, wouldn't that be amazing?
And not have jet lag.
Not only would we not have jet lag, but we wouldn't even have to deal with the whole X-ray thing and getting on a plane.
Really?
Wow, I wonder what that would do to the airlines.
I don't think they'd like it.
No, not at all. Well, that's just,
but your bags go free.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you just have to bring a little change of clothing, from day wear to night wear, or maybe you could just transport that stuff.
Or stop back at your house in between.
That's right. That's amazing. Well, this has just been absolutely fun and fantastic. Thank you so much. Jean Marie's information will be in the links and docs. It'll also be on the body of the email as well. I hope that you will get in contact with her. And if you liked this information, I want you to be that 6th degree that passes this on to friends and family. In fact, let's do it to 10 of our friends and family, because that's just absolutely awesome. Yeah, let's go 10. Until next week, I'm your host, Karen Langston, with my special guest today, Jean Marie Givens Myers with Healing Pathways. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.